Yeah, big week for us for a lot of reasons. Our first bye week of the Big 12, which I think is coming at a perfect time for us. I felt going into the West Virginia game for the first time, I really could notice a difference in our kids, just energy levels and that sort of thing. And we were one of the there's this week and the following week that teams have a bye, and then everyone has had it. And so, point being, we're one of the last teams to really get that bye, and it came at a really good time for us because we had a tough January, but really proud of the January we had. And now this month is going to be just as challenging. Got one of the best teams in the country in Kansas State coming in on Saturday, and coming in with a tremendous amount of momentum and confidence, coming off a big win against TCU. And they're on I think a 4-game win streak, I think it's 3. But all in all, this week has just been really important for us to kind of get our legs back under us, get healthy, and kind of work on us a little bit for the month of February, and seeing all the teams for the second time, or just that last push before a Big 12 tournament.
This week, how did y'all kind of balance both, prepping for, like you said, a really good K-State team, but also giving your girls rest and kind of just refocusing?
I'm going to be honest, we haven't been able to do as much as I want because the flu is going around really terrible right now, and we've fell victim to that. But I'm not saying that as an excuse. I'm saying, like, thank goodness we have a bye, because if we had to play yesterday, we would have had about half of our team. So, got to look at the silver lining of all that. It's good that it happened when it did, and our kids who have been healthy are getting a little bit extra rest. So a lot of it's just about getting our legs back under us and feeling like, we can make that last push, like I said, because we are a little more rested a little bit later in the season. So we haven't really got to prepare much.
Yeah, I was going to ask, you probably wouldn't give any of it away anyway, but do you put, when you're going into the second half and seeing teams a second time, do you put some nuances in for your team that, will surprise the other side? It sounds like you've been compromised with that because you better get floor time.
Yeah, not as much as I wanted. I had all these plans going into Monday, and then that quickly came to an abrupt stop. So not as much as I want, but I do think if you look really just across the country right now, I think a lot of people are finding it a little bit harder to score because teams are so well scouted, and you look at quarters and teams are scoring 6 points and 4 points. Crazy stuff. So scores are just lower in general because everyone's just more prepared at this point in the season. And so always we're looking for different little things that we can do to help our team make it a little bit easier, and put little wrinkles in so that it's not as easy to defend us.
You may not want to answer this. It'll be fair because it gets into officiating. The women's game is more physical now than it's ever been. True, false?
Yeah, I think so, and I think that's good. I think it's good for our game. I don't want to be treated any different. I think basketball is basketball, so.
You spent, I think, 4 years at Kansas State as an assistant. Can you just kind of, if you can remember back to this, like when you first got there, like when you knew you were going to get that job, what your kind of emotions were?
So I spent 3 years there, and I remember that very vividly because that was really a dream for me. That was a huge stepping stone to get where I'm at today. And at the time I was an assistant at the University of Nevada, and across the country away from family, and as a Kansas girl to get to go back home, that was so special for me, and I am forever grateful to Coach Mitty for bringing me back home and giving me that opportunity, especially because we didn't really know each other prior to that. But I loved my time there. I loved learning from him. Clearly, he's one of the best in the country at what he does, and I'm just so grateful for my experience there, to get back home, to learn from a great coach, to get to be in the Big 12. I could go on and on. That was a really positive experience for me.
there is some similarities in the way that you guys' teams play, just in terms of 3-point volume, stuff like that. Would you say that you learned a lot of what I know we've talked about you credit most of your style to learning from your mom, but would you credit some of that to Coach Mitty and what you learned when you were there?
Yeah, sure. I mean, I think any coach would say that there's, pieces of what they do ingrained in them from the people that they've coached with and learned under. And there are certainly elements of what he does that are ingrained in me. He was doing something totally different when I was with him. I mean, at that point we were playing all zone and we were only running triangle offense, and he's really playing a pretty different style from that now. But of course, in general, I mean, I think we both really like skilled players, and that's to your point about the 3-point shooting and that sort of thing. I think some of those things, still remain.
When they have such a significant injury, does that, when you're getting ready for this game, do you sort of put all your focus on scouting what they've done since then to get ready for this one?
So, I think that's the really obvious thing that people think. To be very honest, though, I mean, and Yoki she's an All-American. She's a pro. She's incredible. But the reality is, even when she was playing for them, she was playing about 20 minutes a game. So, and I think that, they've maybe understood the likelihood of her not being able to get through a full season. It was pretty high just based off her history. So I think that while that took them a little bit of a game, in my opinion, to kind of get their footing without her, I think that they've been preparing, and I think that they've played a lot of basketball without her already. So I don't know that I think it changes a little bit of their game plan, but I do think we've already kind of seen what it's like without her and how they want to play and what they do. So I can't say that it's completely different. Heck, I mean, they've won some of their biggest games without her, so but that's what good coaches do. That's what good teams do. You just find a way. And but I guess my point being that we kind of knew that there was a chance that she wasn't going to play already, and we've seen what that looks like throughout the season before she was officially injured.
I think they're top 5 in the country in assists and field goal percentage and 3-point percentage. Just what makes them so efficient, and how difficult is that to scheme for a team that is so efficient?
They have one of the best point guards in the country. Serena Sundell is special. I mean, that kid is, man, she's just good. She's good with the ball. She's good without the ball. She's good with Yoki. She's good without Yoki. I mean, she's just a huge difference maker for them. So I think that she is kind of the head of the snake for them. I think everything starts with her, but then she's got great pieces around her, and it's their depth that I think makes them so tough. Like TCU, they've got 3 pros out there, and the rest are very good role players, but I mean, they definitely, have very specific roles. With Kansas State, I mean, they're all very, very capable of going off and leading their team in points and shooting, and it's not just their starters, they go deep into their bench. So I think that's really what is making K-State so hard to play against right now and having such a great season is their depth.
West Virginia defensively did a really good job against y'all a week ago. Staley, especially after having a month of double-digit games and having a really good month, how has she kind of responded and just kind of been after being not humbled or shut down, but what I mean, like not having the game that she expected?
Yeah, that was a really easy game for us to just kind of flush, and I think the reality when you play as many games as we play in a season and you start working out in June and all those things, you're just going to have one really crappy game that you can chalk up to saying that's just not who we are. And, we didn't even watch any film over that game. That wasn't anything that I lost sleep over in terms of that sort of thing of what you're saying. I mean, hell yeah, I lost sleep over the fact that we scored, didn't break 40. But with Staley, it was definitely that. It was just, I mean, the kid has been carrying us for how many games before, and then to come into that type of environment where West Virginia is so good at home and their defense is so stifling, and then for her to just continue to carry that, I think it was too much at the time, not just for her, for everyone. And This has been a great week for Staley to just finally be able to kind of get some rest and get her legs back. And I can't say any confidence is lost or anything from that game. It was just one of those things that happened.
So she hasn't had the flu. And if she hasn't, I would separate her from anybody who has it.
Trust me, I'm trying to keep everyone in a bubble as much as possible right now.
That's probably a hard thing.
Yeah, I mean, it's not, you don't really have peace of mind, knowing that, I mean, it's a real thing right now. I mean, from what I understand, schools are getting shut down, and, we tried to get Tamiflu for everyone on our team, and every place is out of it. I mean, it's hitting a lot of people right now, and I don't want to act like we're the only ones. I'm sure other teams are going through similar things, but hopefully we can come out and have everyone healthy.
I'm just curious, do you get a flu shot, and do your players get flu shots?
Well, I had a baby, so
You had a
I got
baby.
every shot under the sun, and I'm
yeah.
doing everything I can. Yeah.
Dr. Shrum resigned this week. What has she meant for you, Jacie Hoyt, and you as a coach in your career and everything?
For Jacie Hoyt, she meant a lot. She does mean a lot. She's just she's been an incredible friend to me. She's been an incredible mentor. She's someone that I look up to as a female leader. She's everything that I hope I can be. I mean, she's got wisdom, she's got class, she's got integrity, she's just a leader, and she has been with me through the highest of highs in my time here and the lowest of lows, and I'm forever grateful to her for that, and just her friendship, her mentorship. I feel like I kind of lost a hero in that sense. Professionally, she has meant a lot to our program. I mean, we're women's basketball players, right? And she's been heavily involved in our recruiting. She's been heavily involved in just the support of our team. And we lost a good one in that sense. I mean, it's going to be hard to replace just what she did for us specifically as women's basketball players and to our program. She meant a lot. I think, from what she's done, just I don't even have to say what she's done for the university. I mean, I think that pretty much speaks for itself. But she was a huge figurehead, and when you can call and talk to kids across the country and they know who she is based off her social media presence, or just the kids around campus. I mean, that's not many presidents have that presence, and she did, and that's going to be hard for us to replace, just because she was very impactful for our program. I have full confidence that we're going to get the right person in, and I don't mean that to take away from anyone in the future, but she just meant a lot to me personally and to me professionally, and even just our players have been pretty upset. So she meant a lot to Oklahoma State women's basketball.
If you guys win Saturday, the Chiefs win Sunday, does this have the setup to be like one of the best weekends of your life?
1,000%. Yeah. I mean, yes. that's always. It starts with Kansas State, and that's the main goal. But then, anytime win or lose, if the Chiefs win, then everything's a little bit better after that. So we are fully planning to cheer hard for the Chiefs, and hopefully our daughter can have a Super Bowl win.
One
in
for
her
one,
first year of life.
that'd be great.
So yeah.
Steve had told us, and I don't know that I knew this before, that he's also a Chiefs fan. Have you guys bonded over that at all?
Yeah, we have. In fact, we had a funny moment because he put on his Instagram story one day, like the Chiefs score, and I responded back and said, did we just become best friends? Because I didn't know that he was a Chiefs fan. So I learned his wife is from Kansas City, and so that's kind of his connection there. But that's a smart man, right? Smart man.
They've got to play on Sunday. If you guys had to play on Sunday this year, how do you think you would handle
It's happened a couple times when they had Saturday games, and you know, I'm fully focused on our
Yeah.
game, but I know my husband has his phone over there on the side watching. So
Just looking at the top of the Big 12 standings, do you use that, just especially with if y'all beat Kansas State, how close that top could be? Do you use that type of stuff as, do you like to talk to the players about that and use it as motivation, or do you not want them to think about that?
no, I mean, I can't even think about that right now. There's way too much basketball to be played, and there's just way too much parity. I mean, so we're really truly just taking it one game at a time, and we say every game is the most important game of our season. I mean, you start looking ahead, you're going to have a Houston situation, right? And we learned that the hard way. So no, we're not looking ahead at all. Just truly taking it one game at a time. We have a really tough February, and a lot can happen. So
What, just in terms of, you know, obviously the TCU game, you had a great crowd, you had a great atmosphere.
mhm.
How important is it to have a similar atmosphere, or maybe even a better one?
It's crucial. Don't believe we win that TCU game without the environment that our fans created. You know, that was a really important game for us to have a good crowd, because that was TCU's first true road test against a team of our caliber, and I think they made all the difference. Our fans did. We had a lot of students at that game, and they're awesome. I mean, they just bring a totally different electricity to it. So it made a huge difference. And I mean, K-State they just sold their game out last night. I mean, they're used to playing in those types of environments, but not necessarily on the road. So anytime you can create an environment that's a little bit hostile and tough to play in, that's obviously the goal. And just for women's basketball, I mean, we want that. You know, you see those growing crowds across the country, and I want that to be Oklahoma State. I want to be able to say we're one of those places that you're going to get to play in an incredible environment where people care and support. And I think we're building towards that. I think we still have a lot of work to do, but we're definitely on the right path. And that TCU game was pretty, remarkable for that reason.
Anything else